you're sounding like you want unity and collaboration between leadership, but Seyi Makinde is accusing you of doing the opposite. So if we get into his media chat that happened that time, we mentioned Read by name and said in a meeting with the president that we were present and the president's chief of staff was present, that he said to the president that I will hold PDP for you. And then he said that we went with you to the veranda or the balcony and said, this is not what we planned, this is not what we agreed to. And then he said that if you're free to support the president if you want to, but he is paying not to. Now, is that factual? Because he said other people were there.
That's the blatant lie. And that's why, you see, Seyi Makinde has not called me Wike. Never. That's the first time I say Wike. They've never called me Wike one day. It's unfortunate. First of all, you ask yourself, what was that meeting? What was the purpose of that meeting? That would have led me to say, Mr. President, I hold PDP for you. But all the Seyi Makinde not calling up all this while to tell the party, see what Wike is doing. I was in a meeting. I saw what Wike said. It is not correct. And let me prove the record straight. There's no such meeting. Rather, my humble self, the former governor of Denver State, Atom, the former governor of Abia State, Ibazu, the former governor of Bodu State, Uruguay, and Seyi Makinde, we went to see President.
That's G5.
Yes, we went to see President to discuss, of course, elections were over, to discuss about certain things. When we were there, the chief of staff, of course, he should know that the chief of staff is Rivers and the president. I was one who said, look, chief of staff, I'll come as sure as he can, remind the president of what we have discussed. There was nothing like a meeting. We booked to go and see Mr. President. So you couldn't, it is completely out of place for anybody to say that in that meeting, I said to Mr. President, I hope PDP that for you. That's very unfair. Very, very unfair. Totally unfair. I mean, see, I told everybody, frustration, if you can see, if you watch it on that media, you can see frustration. And this is a young man who have advised severely. Many things is not like being a contractor, you share. What it is not like being a contractor with a they can't be full rules. They can't be full. When you say but they don't come into politics. When you come into politics. And see, that's very wrong in having ambition. But the ambition is like peace. Tell Lord according to the rules.
Ambition, what is the ambition? Running for president or what?
No, they don't even have the balls to tell them I want to run for president. Let me say that to anybody. But we know we are not kids. You see, there are things we can do. And things that people don't know. People do. They watch you. They follow what is going on. How do people get enter this crisis? It's the same Makinde's ambition. How do we enter the crisis? He went and arranged with some people to both say that absolutely is ousted. He allowed people to go to State High Court in Enugu. When we know that the State High Court has no jurisdiction over that matter, they got the judgment. No problem. Fubara went to a court of appeal. On appeal, Fubara won. We all agreed that the party can move on. Look, convention will be coming. Why not allow this to go on? We have only 1 year. So what are you pushing? In the convention, you will make sure those who don't want them to come back will not come back. He refused. I went to Supreme Court. When he went to Supreme Court, he left. He still believes that both Supreme Court said the party has no jurisdiction. Come on, what are you doing? Who appealed to Supreme Court? You and your colleague, me and your co-host, appealed to Supreme Court, and he lost. Until when they went to INEC told them, listen, as far as we are concerned, in our system, the secretary of the PDP is Senator Sabe Ayam. Right? Now, Saki, we have this witness. We have met the Sayakis guest house so Friday. Filtry, the governor of Adamawa was there. Bala, the chairman of the government of was there. Sayakis said, well, yeah, but nobody have agreed to do that. Makinde will not do a different thing. That's not it. And this is why we are here today. Because, okay, look at even the convention, for example. The board of trustees set up the committee to say, what do we do? Committee headed by Wike Adamawa, former governor of Osun, former deputy governor and chief of staff to President Jonathan Odedeme. So you present them, Kure, and two other people came up with a report. Look, let's not go for this convention. Next set of caretaker committee. The same thing, of course, you know that first Wabara. He has done him. You made has done him.
But just better.
But the Lord has done the back and done the bag again. I don't know what you do have a senator with a job bribe of 15 million naira. Everybody is aware of that. He went, they now denied and said, oh, the committee was compromised. There are two judgments of the Federal High Court, Justice Obatasho and Justice Lufu. Substantial judgment, not others. She might never say so. Frustration can make you do a lot of things that cause damage. He went to Ibadan State High Court to obtain an ex parte order. State High Court to obtain an ex parte order. So going to still go on with that confession. High Court ex parte order is a right substantive judgment of two courts. Of course, he had done his so-called convention, and that was not there. I refused to recognize them. Then, in that same matter, I filed a premier objection to say that, look, court, you have made division over us. Why would you move the party to this? And the court agreed and struck an AMEC name. So there was nothing binding on AMEC. The same person then had gone to the Federal High Court in Ibadan to recognize them. They recognize them. Recognize the convention we have done. The convention at Federal High Court, I said, you cannot go ahead and do. You have either disobeying the court judgment. You've got to fight at the Federal High Court now in Ibadan. Now look, recognize us as the legitimate principal officers. That has not been settled. We have got to go to Federal High Court in Abuja against police until the secretary so can use. Why not wait for the Federal High Court to say, okay, he are the legitimate principal officer. So the point I'm making is now, look at where PDP is today. Look at the crisis. Something that would have been easily solved. Listen to the voice of elders. Then go ahead. Let's form caretaker committee. Today, PDP has no candidate in Makinde State. Today, PDP has no candidate in Osun State. Now, when you saw the one-party state, who is making us have a one-party state? If you are listening to people and allow the process to take place, with the issue of one-party state arise, we are because of create one-party state. Are you really accusing the government of trying to have a one-party state? Just listen to what people have said and fill into the process. By now, we wouldn't have been talking about one-party state. Now, having taken wrong steps, that is destroying your party. We're not accusing the other party of wanting to have one-party state. It doesn't make sense.